Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we spend all this time in school, years, even decades, being told what to learn. But think about it. Has anyone ever actually taught you how to learn? Well, today, we're going to crack open the user's manual for your brain to make learning way easier, faster, and honestly, a lot more effective.
Okay, let's just start with a fact that is going to blow your mind. Your brain storage capacity is about 2.5 petabytes. To give you an idea of how massive that is, if you were to record a video of your life 24/7, your brain could hold about 300 years worth. It's literally the most powerful and complex device we know of.
So, if our brains are these incredible supercomputers, why is it so ridiculously hard to remember where you put your keys 5 minutes ago? Well, here's the secret. The problem isn't storage space. Not at all. It's about retrieval. It's not about having a huge hard drive. It's about having the right software to find and use the files. And that's exactly what we're digging into.
To get started, you've got to understand that your brain isn't just one thing. It really operates in two totally different modes. You can think of them like two gears in a car that you can shift between to learn and solve pretty much any problem.
First up, you've got the focused mode. Picture a really tight, powerful spotlight. It's what you're using when you're zeroed in, concentrating on a math problem, or, really trying to get a sentence just right. But then, you've got the diffuse mode. This is more like a giant floodlight. It's your brain's background genius, connecting big picture ideas when you're relaxed. It's why your best ideas always seem to pop into your head when you're taking a shower.
And hey, this isn't just some neat theory. This is a real-deal technique used by some of the most brilliant minds in history. The artist Salvador Dali and the inventor Thomas Edison, they both had this amazing trick. They'd sit in a chair, holding something like a key or a ball bearing, and just start to drift off. The second they fell asleep, bam, the object would fall, waking them up. That way, they could grab all those brilliant, creative ideas from that in-between diffuse state.
So, we've got these two ways of thinking, but how does information actually get saved? How does it stick? This brings us to the actual architecture of your memory.
So first things first, your working memory. Now this is not your long-term storage, not at all. Think of it as your brain's mental whiteboard or scratch pad. It's holding only the stuff you're actively thinking about right now. And here's the catch, it is incredibly, incredibly small.
How small are we talking? Well, for a long time, we thought we could hold about 7 pieces of information. But nope, newer research shows it's closer to just 4. That's it. You've only got about 4 slots in your working memory for new information. This is exactly why cramming for a test feels so impossible. Your brain's little whiteboard just gets wiped clean.
So, how do you get stuff from that tiny little whiteboard into the massive library of your long-term memory? Well, think about it like building a muscle. You wouldn't hit the gym for 10 hours straight on a Sunday and expect to be ripped, right? Of course not. You'd go for an hour a day over 10 days. It's the same thing for your brain. Spaced repetition, practicing a little bit over time, plus a good night's sleep is what actually builds those strong, permanent connections in your brain. All right, let's talk about the big one, the ultimate enemy of learning for pretty much all of us, procrastination. We all do it, but what's really going on inside our heads when we keep putting things off?
This is wild. When you even think about doing something you don't want to do, it actually activates the pain centers in your brain. Yeah, you feel a real tiny bit of discomfort. And what does your brain want to do when it feels pain? It wants to stop. So it immediately pushes you towards something more fun, like, scrolling through your phone.
But here's the good news. You can totally fight back. The secret is to just start. Seriously, use a technique like the Pomodoro. Set a timer for 25 minutes, put your phone away, and just focus. You'll find that once you start, the pain literally goes away. And then, when the timer goes off, give yourself a real reward. This starts to rewire your brain to connect that hard work with a good feeling.
Okay, so we know our working memory is tiny, right? Those 4 little slots. So how do we work around that? This is where a real superpower technique comes in. It's called chunking.
Just look at this number on the screen. If I told you to memorize this, you'd probably just laugh, right? It feels impossible. That's because each one of those digits is trying to take up one of your precious few slots in working memory. It's just instant overload.
But what if we group them? What if we chunk them into patterns that already mean something to us? 911, you know that. 365, days in a year. 24/7, all the time. See what happened? That whole crazy string of 12 numbers becomes one single, easy-to-grab idea. You've basically compressed all that data into one neat little package. That is how you hack your working memory.
Okay, let's pull all this together. We've talked about thinking modes, memory, and procrastination. Now let's build your ultimate toolkit for when you really need to learn something, like yesterday.
So to make facts really stick, you gotta use mnemonics. And honestly, the weirder and sillier they are, the better they work. Create these crazy mental pictures to connect ideas. Use acronyms to remember lists of things, or try building a memory palace. You just mentally place the things you need to remember in different spots in a familiar place, like your house. It sounds weird, I know, but it's a technique that memory champions swear by.
All right, it's test day. Here's a super weird tip that actually works. Find the hardest question on the test and look at it first, just for a minute. Don't try to solve it, just engage with it. This fires up your brain and gets that diffuse mode working on it in the background. Then, go to the easy questions. By the time you come back to that hard one, your brain has already been working on the solution for you.
You know, at the end of the day, all these tricks and techniques, they're not just about passing a class. It's about something much, much bigger. The source material for this explainer puts it perfectly. Learning isn't just about school, it's about staying alive, curious, and engaged with the world around you.
So look, you've basically just been handed the user manual for your own brain. You have the tools. The real question now is, what are you going to go master first?